Okay, we will be live streaming today from the outdoors from Tahlequah, Oklahoma. Look, right now it's a cloudless sky. There's not one cloud in the sky, but it was like this the other day, and around 10:30, 10:45 started spraying, and man, it didn't take a couple hours and the entire sky was just covered with this, shall I say, chem something haze. You can't really talk about those because then they put that little Wikipedia shelf on the bottom, that little information shelf they call it. So we're gonna be doing this from the outside today. How's everybody doing? Some was it Roscoe? Roscoe was saying something about it's is it take your Uzi to church day? Hey, that's a great idea. Taking your Uzi to church day is way better than posting a gun-free sign on the outside of the church to let all the would-be criminals out there know that you are completely disarmed for their pleasure. So I want to deal with a couple things real quick. All right, we're doing this from the outdoors. Gonna make this totally worth your while, guys. What do you think is happening in Kentucky right now? It's what's happening in 17 states now, and they're going to try to force it to the 18th state, to Kentucky. Shoot, there's too much of a glare here, isn't there? Doggone it. Look at that. They're playing an ad on my video. Let me pause this. Guns and guns, baby, says Peter. Okay, let's read some of these here. Yep, red flag laws. You got it. Egg Dream, what's going on? James Shriver, Laszlo. Now, I'm covering this because Brandon from Kentucky sent me an email saying, hey, can you please cover this? And I will cover this anytime, anywhere. Remember, when I quote like the founders, I'm not endorsing everything the founders said, okay? But they had a certain kind of wisdom that a lot of people do not have today. So if I quote Benjamin Franklin or Thomas Jefferson or Samuel Adams, that doesn't mean I endorse everything they say, but there is a kernel of truth to be taken from some of these quotes out there from these guys. And Thomas Jefferson said, the price of freedom is eternal vigilance. And indifference to this notion is the means by which the people have and will secure their own oppression. Think about that. If you're not eternally vigilant about your freedom, you're not going to have freedom for very long. If you don't jealously guard it, you will lose it because there's some psychopath out there who wants to completely take it from you. And that's what's going on with these red flag laws. And that's what they're trying to enact right now in Kentucky. Before I get started, guys, follow me on Twitter because, oh, shoot, what did I do? Just lose that? Follow me on Twitter. I got 200 and something thousand subscribers on YouTube and only 9,000 followers on Twitter. Sub with that. What's going on there? Let me see. A couple things I want to deal with. Do you guys want me to deal with this? There was something on Zero Hedge today. Trump is the leader of a destructive cult using mind control on Americans, says little Brian Stelter. Yeah, I can't do Mark Dice's voice. He does it way better than I do. But let me know if you want me to give me a thumbs up. If I get 75 thumbs up in the comment section on the side of this video, I will do that. I want to do it. But let me know what you guys think. Another thing is this design right here that I created. My rights don't end where your feelings begin. I just wanted to show you what Teespring did. Teespring says this campaign is no longer available due to content issues. Sorry about that. So basically what they did was they censored this design right here, I suspect, because it has the Confederate flag on it. And a lot of people were going, oh yeah, nice. You put a government flag on there. Yeah, real nice. Look, guys, I'm against government, okay? You can hang a Nazi flag if you want to. I'm for freedom and I'm against government. Government is the complete antithesis to freedom. So, if you want to give me a hard time about that, that's okay. That's all right. Water off a duck's back. Real quick. Let's see. Why is my computer locked up? Why is... Do I even have a mouse? Oh, here we go. What just happened? I just created a new window. Sorry, I'm getting to this. Just wanted to let you know, Bitcoin actually hit 6,500 last night. This is the 1 minute chart. It's back up to 72.79. Beware if you're going to be sinking money into that. And I just had the chart for silver up here. And I lost it. Or is it? Yeah, it's gone. I had the silver chart up to show you. Okay, let's talk about Kentucky. They are going to try to play on your emotions, guys. Well, my emotions too. I mean, we're emotional human beings. How if you say you're unemotional, if you say you don't make your decisions by All right, they cut me off. I'm back. If you say that you're not an emotional human being, then you're lying to yourself. If you're a human being, you're emotional. The key is to harness your emotions and make them subject to logic and truth. All right. So here's what we're dealing with in Kentucky. Whitney Austin tried to hold back her tears while telling Kentucky lawmakers her story. And this is a gut wrenching story, guys. Picture Whitney Austin as your grandmother or your mother or your sister or somebody that you love in your life. Okay, so this is horrible what happens. No denying that at all. Not taking anything away from her. On September 6, 2018, I walked into a mass shooting, said Austin. I was shot 12 times. That's horrible. Who would want that for their mother or their sister, anybody they love? Father, it doesn't matter, brother, cousin, uncle, it doesn't matter. Austin was shot when a gunman opened fired at Fifth Third Bank headquarters. Who names their bank that? In Cincinnati. Instead of walking into the office to solve the latest problem with my product, I was forced to solve the most difficult problem I have ever encountered: surviving a man with a gun that was determined to kill me. Years before the shooting in Cincinnati, Mark Barden's son Daniel was killed in Newtown, Connecticut. I can't say much about that because if I do, my channel is going to get flagged. But what do you guys think about that? Did they ever produce one shred of evidence that what they said happened actually happened? Nope. Nope. Just take our word for it. And then there was that H. Wayne Carver. Remember that guy? Remember H. Wayne Carver, the coroner at Newtown? Could they have gotten a more psychopathic acting guy to play the role of coroner? It was ridiculous. You guys know what I'm talking about. I've played a couple of their snippets of his tomfoolery. All right, so he was 7 years old when a gunman took his life. He was shot to death in his first grade classroom at Sandy Hook Elementary School. I don't doubt that things like this happen, and that would be horrible if it happened to your kid. It'd be horrible if it happened to my kid. But what do you do as a result of that? Let's see what these people do. Barden and Austin, both this guy with the kid at that school, and this right here, see that word right there? That school in Connecticut, were brought together by tragedy, but now they and many others are working toward a goal. And what is that goal? Dun, dun, dun. The goal is to make sure no one else has to go through what they both have experienced. Sounds like a worthy goal, but it's not possible. You cannot make sure that no one else can go through what they both experienced, and you sure as hell can't do it by enacting the kind of laws that both Barden and Austin want to inflict, and I mean inflict, on Kentucky and other states, because they want to make this a federal mandate. See, what's good about one good thing I want to point out about the Constitution is the 10th Amendment. Whatever is not reserved for the federal powers is reserved for the state or the people, respectively. But they want to create a federal blanket mandate that covers all 50 states, which means if you live in Arkansas, you can't seek shelter and security and freedom in Oklahoma or any of the other surrounding states. Similarly, if you're in California, you can't go to Nevada because that blanket of federal control and those federal guidelines and those federal laws, the laws of politicians, the opinions of politicians backed by the threat of force, covers everything. So there's nowhere for you to escape. It's like, you don't like our country, get out. It used to be, if you don't like this state, get out and go to another state. It's like, why would I? The same laws apply there as do apply here. That's the danger and the cancer of a federal authority putting a blanket mandate over every single state. So you can't escape. Let's go back to this real quick. Well, let's ask a couple questions, because I like to deal with this kind of thing because it really exposes the folly and the outright evil of the people who want to force this. It's basically forcing it onto other people. One of the things I lay awake about at night and I will always constantly think about is how this could have been prevented, said Barden. We do know a constant theme we keep hearing is that there are warning signs. People do talk about it before they take somebody else's life or their own life. Really? Always? You're an authority on that? I don't buy that. You can be completely quiet, a quiet psychopath, moving along in life, weaving in and out of society, making these secret plans that you never tell anybody about, and all of a sudden you explode and nobody ever guessed it. Matter of fact, isn't that what they always say when they interview the neighbors or the fellow students of these people? God, I never saw it coming. There were no signs. He was a great guy. He got along with everybody. And then all of a sudden he came in and 14 people are dead. You never hear people do talk about it before they take someone else's life or their own life. It's the exact opposite. Every time fake stream media tries to shove something down our throats, it's, oh God, it happened out of the blue. We never expected it, never anticipated it from him. Of all people on the face of the planet, it couldn't have been him, but it was. That's an opportunity to prevent these tragedies. Opportunity. What are they looking for the opportunity to do? That's where an extreme risk protection order bill comes in. It comes into the picture, also known as a red flag law. It allows people like police officers to ask the court to temporarily take a person's guns away if that person is a risk to him or herself or to others. There's your danger right there. It allows people like police officers to ask the court to temporarily let's drop the euphemisms, to steal a person's gun rights, to steal a person's freedom, to steal a person's private property if that person is a risk to himself or herself. No, if you think that person is a risk to himself or herself, it's your opinion. And based on your opinion, and that's why I made this shirt right here, guys. That's why I made this right here. My rights don't end. Oh, shoot. What happened? My rights don't end where your feelings begin. I feel like you're a danger to yourself and others. So we need to ask a psychopathic robe-wearing tyrant to issue a bench warrant so the psychopathic law enforcers can come to your house, force their way into your home, and act like psychopaths. It's utterly ridiculous nonsense. People are in search of common sense solutions that protect all of us while also protecting rights. How the hell are you going to protect rights while you're taking rights away with the ERPOs, extreme risk protection orders? Said Senator Morgan Garvey. Yeah, of course, a senator. That's what this bill does. What? It protects all of us while protecting rights? No, you can't protect somebody by coming in and stealing their property. That's why it has bipartisan support. This bipartisan, that just means both the Democrats and the Republicans are against you. I don't know why people seek solace in bipartisan support. I don't know why they take comfort in, oh, you mean the Republicans and the Democrats are on board with taking away my rights? Well, it must be a good thing then. Utter nonsense. Utter insanity. I'm going to read the rest of this and then let's talk about something for real. That's why it has bipartisan support across the country here. That's why it has bipartisan support here in Kentucky. That's why you see 17 states that have this law already on the books. On the book. All right, let's talk about something. If you want to institute a red flag law on people, the motive, they say, is to keep people safe. But what is it actually doing? It's actually taking people's rights away. And how does it do it? What they're doing is they're trying to institute gun control at the barrel of a government gun. It's completely hypocritical. They're asking law enforcers to use their guns to take your guns away, to steal your guns, to steal your private property, to trample on your Fourth Amendment rights. And your Fourth Amendment right is to be secure in your person, houses, papers, and effects. And yeah, you don't need a Fourth Amendment written down on a piece of paper for you to actually have rights as a human being. You know why it's wrong for a man to come into your house and steal your property against your will? Because you're a human being, not because the founding fathers wrote it in the 1700s. Not because it's sitting under some piece of bulletproof glass in the Smithsonian Institute. Not because it's hailed as a holy document in Washington's District of Criminals, the document that they completely trash and trample on every single day of their frickin' lives. So the takeaway here is any red flag law that's initiated against you is initiated at the barrel of a government gun to stop people from committing violence with their guns. Oh, wow, that makes a lot of sense. No, it's hypocritical. It's nonsensical. It's literally insane. If you're for red flag laws, you're for insanity. And let me ask you this. If you're going to come into a person's house after you've gotten a bench warrant from the judge, and the reason you did that is because the person whose house you're about to break into was declared to be unfit to have a firearm or declared to be a danger to himself and others, why are you just going to take his guns? Are you also going to go through his drawers and go into his kitchen and take his knives and his meat cleavers? Are you going to go into his garage or his shop and see if he's got any hammers or pickaxes or chainsaws? Do you know that chainsaws send 31,000 people, not chainsaws don't send them. The misuse of a chainsaw sends 31,000 Americans to the hospital every single year. 31,000 people. Why aren't they banning chainsaws? If they really cared about humanity, wouldn't they get rid of chainsaws? Take them off the shelf. These things are too dangerous. Why isn't Bernie Sanders getting out there going, don't you understand what's happening to the medical community? Chainsaws, 31,000 a year. We need to get rid of them. That's shooting your medical bills up. I think the average, I can't, there's a stitch count that goes along with that. If you don't know how to use a chainsaw, you need to learn before you pick that baby up and pull that cord, guys. If you don't know what you're doing and you let that chainsaw get to the tip of that wood and it hits a knot and it comes back on you, the most common injury in a chainsaw accident is the forehead or the arm or the leg. It starts with the forehead and then arm and leg, if I remember right. You can double check me on that. But chainsaws are extremely dangerous. No, they're not. People are just stupid or they're careless. You could be the smartest guy in the world and just have a moment of carelessness and then something happens with the chainsaw. So when they're coming in confiscating firearms, why aren't and they're such a danger to themselves and others, why aren't they taking the knives? Did you know that knives in 2016, knife death, but they didn't call it knife death. People who die by the use of the knife, 1,706. How many from all long rifles put together in that same year? It's like around 400, 350, 400. So why aren't they taking the knives? How about hammers, blunt objects, baseball bats? Why aren't they taking those? Hey, let's just make it easy on ourselves. Let's just incarcerate this guy. He's a danger to himself and to others. If he's such a danger to himself and others, why are you just taking the guns? Because there's an agenda. There's an agenda out there. They want to remove your rights. They're trying to do this in Kentucky. By the way, shout out to Brandon. I think I did that at the beginning of the video, but shout out to Brandon who sent me this email about what's going on in Kentucky. I really want to spread this, guys. These red flag laws, these extreme risk protection orders, or whatever you want to call it, is complete insanity foisted on Americans who just want to be left the freaking frick alone. Freaking frick. Frickin' frackin' freaking frick. God, man. I just feel, don't you feel like sometimes you are just on the set of the Twilight Zone? What are these people thinking? And then the very people who are making the laws against you to take your firearms away, to steal your private property, are walking around with armed agents paid for by you. Armed security detail, protecting Nazi Pelosi, protecting AOC, protecting Bernie Sanders, protecting the President of the United States and the Vice President. Armed security detail. And they're the very ones who are being protected by an armed security detail who don't want you to be armed. And now here's what else happens. Just like that guy, that Conti guy in that last video I told you about. When they confiscate your weapons, it's like they put your name in the paper, you're on the website, and don't think criminals aren't opportunists because they're on the website going, okay, who the cops just disarmed for me, you know? That's what gun-free, when a criminal sees a gun-free zone, why do you think since 1950, 98% of all mass shootings have taken place in gun-free criminal empowerment zones. When a politician writes a law, a gun-free zone, to make a gun-free zone, I don't know how it is in your area, but if I have my firearm in my vehicle for my protection and the protection of my family, and I drive within 1,000 feet of a school, I am literally, while I'm in that zone, operating as a criminal of the state. Even though if I saw somebody shooting kids, I'd be the first to jump out and try to defend those kids with my firearm. But they want to make you into a criminal. And that's another thing these red flag laws do. They make you into a criminal. They don't prosecute you for a crime. They just come in and steal your inventory. They steal your property. They make you out to be a criminal. And not only that, they put their claws into you for this mental rehabilitation thing because they think that you are a mentally unstable and unfit individual and you can't have a firearm by our determination. And here's the cherry on top, guys. To top this whole Sunday of insanity off, who are the people who come in to confiscate your property, to steal your property, to bear down upon you the violence and force of the state? Law enforcers. Why do I say that's hypocrisy, and why do I say that's a grave irony? Because in study after study after study, anybody who's in law enforcement is 3 to 4 times more likely to be a domestic abuser. It's because this authoritarian mindset is literally like cancer to the brain. If you believe that you literally have a monopoly on force and power over everyone around you, and your uniform, your costume, and your badge grants you special rights, power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. And when somebody like a law enforcer or a politician gets that power, it corrupts them internally. It does bad things to them, and then those bad things are displayed in their life. And 3 to 4 times more likely, a law enforcer is 3 to 4 times more likely to be a domestic abuser, and they're the ones with the guns. They're the ones with the uniforms. They're the ones who are allowed to have the badges and the monopoly on force, and they're the ones coming to your house to execute the ERPO, the Extreme Risk Protection Order. Is that not the most ironic, insane thing that you have ever heard in your life? So Kentucky, fight against this, man. Fight against it. Civil disobedience is the best way you can take down a government. Civil disobedience. I am not calling for violence, YouTube, so don't take my channel down. Don't take this video down. I'm not calling for violence. I'm calling for peaceful civil disobedience. Just don't obey. The problem is, if you get 1 or 2 people in your neighborhood who just don't obey, they're easy to take out. But if everybody in the neighborhood got together and stood together, can you imagine if you're driving on the road and a cop tries to stop you for some bogus reason, and you make it into your neighborhood, and you press like an emergency alert app or something, and all the phones in your neighborhood go off, and all your neighbors come out and surround your house? Are they going to be able to take down 250 to 350 people in your area, in your neighborhood? If we all freaking stood together, that's what it's going to take. People are like, well, what's your solution, Brian? My solution is knowledge is power. You get out the power, you tell the people, you get them on board with simple concepts like nobody has a higher claim over your life and property than you. It's never right to initiate unjust force and violence on peaceful people who haven't done anything wrong. If you can get people to unite on those 2 concepts, I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat, everybody can agree on that. Nobody has a higher claim over your life and property than you. Do you agree? Let's see. No. I think there are people. I think Nancy Pelosi has a higher claim over my life and property than me. Okay, then you're insane. I'm not talking to you. But normal people, no, nobody else has a right to tell me what to do, where to go, what to think, what I can grow in my backyard, what I can take into my body. Nobody has that right. I have that right. Okay, so if anybody violates those rights, then everybody in your neighborhood gets together to rise up against it. Because if you don't, then that one gets picked off next week, and then this one, and then this one, and then we'll fine you $150 for rolling through that stop sign. And because your tail light was out, we're going to charge you $75. And oh, you had an ounce of weed in your car, we're taking you to jail for 20 years. No. We need to stand together, or we will hang separately. So the solution is, first, education. We need to educate the people, get them on board, get them across that fear plane barrier, because the Hegelian dialectic is always in play. Problem, reaction, solution. The government will create the problem, or government entities. I hate to say government like it's some kind of, personification of some evil being. Government is just made up of people who buy into the idea that, hey, I have a higher claim over the lives and property of others. I can make the laws. I can enforce the laws. Hey, you can't do that. Oh, you did it? Sorry, you're going to jail. Come on, we're throwing you in a cage. Nobody has that right. Nobody has that right. And the second thing, nobody has the right to initiate unjust force and violence on peaceful people who haven't done anything wrong. If we can just get together on those two concepts, we can create a civil disobedient force that no government entity can withstand. There's not enough room in the local jail to take all your neighbors in. Ain't no way. If you show a force, a peaceful force, YouTube, a peaceful force, come on, that's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about an evil, violent uprising, YouTube. I'm talking about a peaceful civil disobedience. Schaefer Cox had it right. He had something called the Freedom app or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Um, it was some kind of system where you could just push a button and the alerts of everybody's phone, because that's what it's going to take is us all coming together and uniting on just basic basic causes. Nope, I wouldn't want that done to me. Hey, honey, see what's being done to our neighbors? I wouldn't want that done to me. Would you? No, I wouldn't want. Okay, let's go defend them. Let's go stand in the way, stand in the gap, so to speak, for our neighbor, for our brother, for our sister. Because everybody you meet, I don't care the color of their skin, their nationality, where they come from, what language they speak. If they're a human being, they're your brother or they're your sister. And if we stood together, dang it, we could literally make some freaking headway in this world. But because the fake stream, lame stream, CIA, Operation Mockingbird, 24/7 news cycle media has us distracted, deceived, and divided, we don't stand together. I'm Team Red. I'm Team Blue. I'm a Democrat. I'm Republican. I'm liberal. I'm conservative. Oh, you're my enemy. Oh, you're for Trump. I'm against you. Oh, you were for Hillary. Damn, I'm against you. What kind of brain dead retard are you anyway? If we could just freaking stand together. Politics divides us, guys. It does not bring this country together. It will never do anything good. It has never done anything good. It's gotten us $23 trillion worth of debt. We have an out of control military industrial complex. We have 800 and something military bases in foreign lands blowing our brothers and sisters across the world to bits. We're like the Nazis of the world, just wreaking havoc. You got former Secretary of State, what's her name? Shoot, what's her name? She was under Clinton. How can I forget? Madeleine Albright saying, "Yeah, we blew to smithereens 500,000 kids." Actually, it wasn't necessarily blown to smithereens, but had them die through sanctions, and we thought it was worth it. What psychopath gets on national TV and says it was worth killing 500,000 kids? Those are your leaders, America. And it hasn't changed in the Clinton era, didn't change in the Bush HW era, didn't change with Bush W, it didn't change with Obama, and it hasn't changed with Trump. We're all freaking divided, and we need to get together. Like you guys in Kentucky, you guys got to get together, civil disobedience, and say screw you. Red flag laws. So you're trying to initiate gun control on this at the barrel of a government gun? No, thank you. Don't think so. We're rational, thoughtful human beings who want to be free, not in bondage. So share this video with everybody you guys know. Just to reiterate, I'm not going to be on this platform. I'm gonna stay on this platform till the wheels fall off, like I've been telling you. But please go to my BitChute channel right now, High Impact Flicks. Everything that I'm telling you is in the description underneath this video. All the links are there. Just click on all those links and follow me there, because December 10th is fast approaching. I'm going to try to say this in every video, but YouTube's about to change their terms of service, and there's a whole lot of the channel creators you like. I don't want you to just follow me on other social media platforms. All your favorite channel creators, maybe create a folder in your computer of all the people that you like that you don't want to see disappear, because we are going to disappear. This gravy train ain't lasting forever. Just click on all social media links, especially my Gab account, BitChute, Instagram. I'll have separate content on a lot of these other things that you won't. This channel right here. But once this channel's gone and the other channels that you like, they're gone. They ain't coming back, because power concedes nothing, and the powerful are in Silicon Valley, and they will valve you down. By the way, I talked to Adam Green today from No More News. I called him Shane Dawson the other day. It's Ryan Dawson. Did a really, really good job exposing Sacha Baron Cohen's hypocrisy with this ADL push to censor basically everybody who doesn't think like they do. So check out Adam's last video. And I talked to him. He's going to try to distill a lot of that information and make a shorter, more compact, more shareable video because a lot of people don't have time to watch a 2 hour and 10-minute video. And I totally understand. I get it. Anyway, join me on all those social media links. I don't view you guys as followers, I view you guys as fellow sojourners, and we're all learning, man. It's like I learn a lot from you guys. Hopefully you learn, take some tidbits of information from me. I appreciate all your support. Somebody asked, I saw somebody ask, why don't you give a little love to your Patreon channel and, put a little content out there. I'll take that to heart, and I'll try to scrape together some time to do that. um, Thank you for all my Patreon supporters. You guys are what makes this possible, and everybody who gives on PayPal and these super chats and everything. So I'm gonna go and tune out. If you guys gave a super chat today, I'll do with that in another live stream. I really appreciate you guys. Remember, I'm not kidding you. This is not clichéic. This isn't just a neat, clever quote by a guy who's dead now. The price of freedom is truly eternal vigilance. And indifference to that idea, that notion that the price of freedom is eternal vigilance, is the way we become oppressed. It's how we become enslaved because we didn't grasp onto and hold fast to the truth with all our might. It's easy to pry truth from the fingers of the ignorant, but you cannot pry the truth from the fingers of the informed. I think I just made that up because I don't think I've ever heard that before. Anyway, it's true. It's nonetheless true. I love and appreciate every single one of you guys. Let's stick together, man. Let's just stand together. So you guys in Kentucky, what's going on in Kentucky right now is this red flag law. It will literally destroy individual rights in America. What little individual rights we have left. We do have some freedoms in this country, and whatever we have, we not only need to hold on to those, but we need to get back the freedoms that we lost. I love you guys. Have a good day, and I'll see you in the next heavily censored shadow banned live stream.